My name is Chris Claremont. You're watching Omni X-Men.
Hello, 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 and yes, you are watching Omni X-Men. Welcome back to the channel, gang. My name is Justin, aka No Good Comics, and we are talking some more New Mutants. Got the New Mutants Omnibus, another couple of chapters out of this bad boy for tonight. We're going to be talking New Mutants issues number 19 and 20 here on Omni X-Men, and yeah, we're like, just getting a little more than halfway in this bad boy. So, of course, when I say we, it is not just me. It is me and my good friend and co-host, John, from John's Comics with Kids. John, you.
Oh, Dr. Doom, you're hilarious.
Hey.
This is the Dr. Doom show, right? I saw the thumbnail. We're talking Doom.
Wait, right? No, you're mixing them. You're switching them. That's a great omnibus, though. Look at that.
Yes.
Hey,
yeah. Boy. And I've been chatting with tonight's guest for a specific reason to talk about this omnibus, but that's not tonight.
Love it. No, we're gonna do it now. Forget it.
Doom is on the way. Your doom is at hand.
Hey, John, why do you look out of breath? What happened? What's going on?
These are heavy omnibus.
Are you sweating?
Walking down the hall, breaking things, carrying these suckers. I'm getting either clumsier or fatter or wider in my hallways. I can't carry omnibus like I used to.
It's actually the hallways. They shrink after a while.
I heard that if you wash them too much.
Yes, yeah, you got to not don't water them too much. Well, looking forward to tonight's episode, and as you said, we have a very special guest and a good friend of ours. He's been on the channel before. He's hung out with us before. He does a ton in the community. Well loved by all. Our good friend Stu. What is up, Stu?
What is up, guys? Thanks for having me, man. So good to be here.
Absolutely.
Ready to get to the doom of the demon bear.
That's right. It ties in well,
I did my best.
Nice.
I want to thank Stu for listening to my rant the other night, because I read the first 7-8 issues from this omnibus, all written by Stan Lee, and I was like, okay, I got to tear into our guy Stan, because somebody needs to take the typewriter away from him.
Oh no!
It was so funny.
Stan's not the man sometimes. He's an idea man, but questioning some of the.
You did all right for a woman.
Yeah. John, you're going to get my channel shut down here.
I'm just saying.
My subscribers are going down as you continue to speak badly about Stan Lee.
If anybody wants to hear me rant about Stan Lee, hit me up on Instagram.
So excited.
I'll copy and paste everything over so you can hear me take some shots. I did not have any truth juice, Matt, yet. But be ready. Be ready. Stan Lee's in my sights.
With all that being said, if you're enticed and wanna follow John's Comics with Kids, go to his channel. His link is in the description. He's a great follow.
Next week we're gonna be over there.
Yes, we will be as we go back and forth on each other's channels for this show. So be ready. Make sure you're subbed up to him, and of course, make sure you're subbed up and following Stu. I put his YouTube and Instagram links down below. We appreciate you, Stu. Yeah, definitely, for being with us, and
it's so good to be back.
Absolutely. So before we get into everything else, I want to remind everybody at home to stick around for after we break down these two issues tonight, because we do have questions based on last issues where we first got into the Demon Bear stuff and went over 17 and 18. So be ready for that. You do have a chance to win getting your name on our prize board, which we do a raffle at the very end of the season coming up in June. We're already in the new year, so coming up in June, be ready for that, and you could win some really cool prizes, including a piece of artwork or commission artwork from our good friend Rosko from Geek Out with Rosko. Yes. He is our featured artist of the season. So Rosko, shout out to you. I put Rosko's information in the description. Make sure you are following him as well, and check out his artwork. Reach out to him, even if you don't want to try to win something here. Go check out his artwork, and maybe he'll work out something to do a commission on the side. So with that being said, let's say a quick hello to the chat. Let me scroll back up here. Of course, we got our guy James hanging out bright and early, 11:44 Eastern time this morning, saying good morning. Good morning, James. Good to see you, brother. And he was back again. Indeed. at 2:58 saying hooray, hooray, hooray.
Tailgater, man.
Yes.
I'm wondering if
tailgater.
sometimes I wonder if he forgot if he checked in on certain streams. So he goes back through and he's like, oh, I already left a message. Well, I'm already here. I'll leave another message.
No, he's just dedicated. This man.
Like.
We appreciate you, James. And again at 8:30, hello from New Mexico. Yes, there's the link right there. Make sure you are subbed up, following him. We got Eric SideQuest Comics in the chat. What's going on, Eric? Good to see you. Yeah, these covers are killers. Agreed. Matt Inklemson, what's going on, Matt? Thanks for stopping by, my friend, and hanging out with us tonight. As always, we got Adam Make Stuff Up hanging out with us as well. The Demon Mama.
So good.
Let's see. Scrolling through here. We got our good friend Candace Barbosa in the house. What's going on, Candace? Stu playing double duty tonight in the chat and on the screen. Gotta give him credit. We got my man Ryan Magic Lasso hanging out as well, saying hello to all of our favorites, including Diana Ross, Miss Diana Ross, and Rachel Dinners. And chat, love it. Oh, and Bobby Drake, we feel at home where here where I'm.
It's so cold,
man.
Oh yeah,
Ryan is so cold.
It's freezing. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Up north there, it's I mean it's cold here too in Jersey, but yeah, colder up there for sure. We got our good friend Station Fable in the house, always blaming Fable.
Brother.
Let's see, we got Ruben Guzman in the chat as well. Cowabunga, my friend. We got Comic Dude. What's going on, Comic Dude? Love that name. It's a cool name. We got Hot Rod's Garage hanging out in the chat. My man Rod.
What is going on, buddy?
Let's see, scrolling through. We got, of course, good old JP hanging out in the chat as well. What's going on, JP? Let's see, scrolling. Seeing everybody saying hi to everybody else. All right, I think we got everybody. Yeah, Candace saying it is cold. Oh, 9-panel grid in the chat. What's going on, 9-panel grid?
What up,
Eric?
All right. Yeah. So again, make sure you are subbed up to these folks here on the screen. Links are in the description below. Before we get into the issues of New Mutants 19 and 20 tonight, let's talk to our good friend Stu here. John, I'll pass it to you for some questions.
Firstly, you guys, Stu might be the most criminally underrated, underwatched, undersubscribed YouTuber we've had on our show. Like the fact that he doesn't have like 1,000 subscribers blows my mind. And if you look, his views are wild. He's getting so many people. He's got so many live streams. He's got people hanging out with him. Hit the button, folks. Subscribe up. Get there for the Dooms fan club because this guy loves comics, knows comics, makes content that's so wonderful. So make sure that's what you got to be doing is subscribing.
That's right.
All right. Stu, I got to ask some Dr. Doom questions.
Let's do it.
We know it is lore. Doom and Storm have a connection. They got a relationship that's exciting.
Man, that latest issue.
Oh,
woo!
He clearly wants Storm to join the Latverian culture now.
Mm-hmm.
Who are his? If that's the number one draft pick for him, who do you think are the 2, 3, 4, 5? Like who are the people directly under Storm that he's trying to get from that mutant draft?
Oh, the mutant draft?
Yeah, who's he trying to get? Because he clearly wants more mutant. He's like, bring me all your mutants. He's like, bring me all your mutants, right? So who is, if Storm's the number one draft pick, who's the 2, 3, 4?
Man, I think he would definitely do well with Omega level telepath. I could see him also have a spicy relationship with Emma Frost.
Definitely. Good pick.
I think he would want a big bruiser. That he could easily manipulate. So I don't know. We could maybe go like Morrisonian with like Beast or maybe even Strong Guy, just because Strong Guy doesn't get enough love, you know.
Fair.
And then I don't know, man. Who else? I don't know. I feel like he would wanna have all his bases covered. So what am I forgetting? I don't know. I'm drawing a blank.
That's great. And I like the where your brain went though. I like the thinking because I could totally see Emma and Strong Guy fitting in nicely in Latveria and being part of his crew. That works for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Quick hello to Matt, boy who had 7 in the chat. What's going on, Matt?
What's going on, Matt? He's been dropping his videos looking at some of the great pickups he got in 2024. So if you guys want to see some of those great hauls, you need to get over there.
It's got the goods.
Ryan's question is, do you think Doom and Storm both want to stir that spaghetti sauce, or do you think it's a one-sided relationship at this point?
I think Doom's a little thirsty, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? I think it's a little bit one-sided in that sense. But
I agree.
Regardless, I'm here for it either way. I'm here with my popcorn.
I mean, she went full lingerie. She was clearly planning for anything.
And that's been such a great one because we've only had a select few issues with the two of those kind of like full featured, and they've all been spectacular, man. So
yeah, I don't know if anybody read.
It was so great to see it continued. Yeah, just recently.
When she became the Regent of Mars, and they had that like in Sword, where he showed up to like argue that he should be the person in charge of the solar system, and argued with her.
Oh yeah,
phenomenal issue. Out Ewing
was that the one where they sat down at the dinner table again and kind of recreated that? Yeah.
Firstly, like he shows up to the big council meeting and tries to like throw down with them, and then she rolls in, and of course she's just like, don't talk to my people, talk to me. You talk to me first. It was great.
Quick hello to our good friend Conlon in the chat. What's going on, Conlon?
His episode, and I think SideQuest Eric's coming up here soon, so those guys will be on the show here. Yep. Okay. Then last one. If Doom was gonna join, do you think Storm would ever let Doom join the X-Men? Be on her team? If she's not gonna go join Latvian culture, do you think it could swing the other way?
Absolutely. I think Doom has the ability to convince anybody, right time, right place, to to put him on the squad. I think he's proven that time and again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he seems clever enough to kind of work his way into what he needs,
without a doubt.
If anybody never read the I think it was called Fantastic Four versus the X-Men, that was a great mini series where it showed like some of the mutants he was protecting on Latveria, and how the children of Reed Richards and Sue Storm got kind of caught up in what was going on in the safe haven that he was making there. Really entertaining. Kitty Pryde, great part of that.
I got my third Doom mutant. I think he's going to go magic and sorcery. He's going to go with Ileana. Yeah, that would be my third one.
It is magic. It's
magic. And it's on theme for tonight. So
it absolutely is. Well, thank you, Stu. I appreciate getting to know you better. And
I love the question, sir.
As a heads up, folks, Stu and I are going to be talking about the Book of Doom here very soon. So you want more Stu?
Yeah, stay tuned for those Stan Lee rants, guys.
Yes, buckle up.
Oh God! All right. Well, we appreciate everybody who's hanging out with us right now. We got 12 people still hanging, and let's get into these issues here. Let me pull up the slideshow here. And we'll get to it. So first and foremost, we got to go over these covers here again. For those just joining us, we are going through New Mutants. This is issue 19 and 20, coming off of a pretty brutal and wild ride from issue 18. And but before we get into all the details, let's just go over the covers as usual. So John, I'm going to pass it to you first.
Right.
A lot of I had some feels for these covers, but I'm curious to your thoughts. What are your thoughts of when you first see these covers 19 and 20?
I feel incredible jealousy that in my solid New Mutants collection I do not have either of these books, and that's disappointing to me in a big way. I have a ton of the Sienkiewicz era, but I don't have these two specific issues. This Demon Bear cover, come on, gang. Come on. It's basically the splash page we got in the last issue done as a cover, and it is freaking amazing.
Yep.
The detail work to have the Demon Bear be so dark and yet still be able to see Roberto on that hand.
It looks so good. It's so good on that. Yeah.
Phenomenal. The moon in the background, the corner box art on both of these.
Good call.
Yeah. Come on, you got Danny and the blood drip, like the IV drip. Come on, so good. The cowboy. I'm just like all about these, and of course on both Cannonball. Really great Cannonball drawings on both. The perspectives are really interesting and different. I don't know what's going on that issue 20 cover. I look at it the first time and I'm like, is that Warlock? I don't know what's going on.
Dude, yes, that's what I thought.
It's just wonderful artwork all around, and they are definitely books that I'm like, I need not only did I want to get these at some point, I want to get now as an adult.
Yes,
need to have, got to get them.
Oh, absolutely. I've been slowly hunting now, and I'm only getting newsstands for these. So it's been a little bit of a challenge, but I do have these issues somewhere around here. But yeah, well said. Before I pass it to Stu, quick hello in the chat to our good friend Nick, Comic Culture Station.
Hey,
Nick,
what up, bro?
My wrong hand.
Hello. And we also got Dan Alvin in the chat as well. So he's going to show some clips of. Oh, that's we won't get into all this, but I actually didn't get to see the New Mutants side of things, but or the movie, but
I never saw the New Mutants movie either.
It was a real missed opportunity. They had a killer cast.
Yeah,
they had a great cast for that.
And I love Anya.
Too bad.
She's great.
Yeah.
We'll appreciate you, Dan, for swinging by and hanging with us. Stu, what about you? What are your thoughts when you first see these covers?
Man, amazing, right? Stunning, ethereal, spooky. The Badlands cover reminds me of, I don't know if you guys are Hunter S. Thompson fans, but Ralph Steadman a lot, and that super weird, freaky energy. On the left though, with Demon Bear is just, I love the team shot. I love Cannonball is always kinetic and coming off the page. Even inside these, he's popping off the panels. I love the contrast between Magma and Sunspot. The coloring choices, it's just fantastic. Like the snow coming through, and then like the complete change we get in 20 with the Badlands and the desert, and everything that's hinting to. And I like how 19 kind of, the cover doesn't really play any games with you. You knew coming out of 18 what you were going to get, a continuation of that Demon Bear fight. But I like how 20 still kind of obscures things. You don't know, like, it's still kind of mysterious, and that's just part of the fun of that issue is really Sienkiewicz getting to come off the chain and be unleashed. So just and like John said, I was so excited going to the short box and pull these out for the show, and I have 18 and like I think 22, and then like on from there. I was like so bummed out. And
so it's a race between Stu and I. Who's going to find these books first?
Exactly. I'm on the hunt too, brother.
LCSs, prepare yourselves.
Shame on me.
I love it. No, I'm totally with you guys. And I have to say, prior to getting into reading the New Mutants, these are definitely books I kind of overlooked. And not even that I was really digging through New Mutant bins to begin with, just with my lack of reading or knowing a lot of the characters and more focused on the main X-Men title and things of that nature. So for me, these both are ones that I've kind of seen before. They stood out to me. I think 19 definitely has stood out to me more, just with the fact that there's this bear on the front and it's taking over the whole thing. But I have to say, like, 20 didn't really grab me at first. And when I say at first, I mean like my first time ever seeing it before we got into making the show or, diving into the New Mutant stuff. So, and then now revisiting it, the first thing as I see on the front cover is like, in my head, I'm like, ooh, okay, we're getting Warlock. Here we go. Like, that's this is great. And then on top of that, I actually, until I really read this issue, like this week, I didn't even really notice the other two in the background. Like, to me, this was always like a quick flip through as I'm digging through a long box and just seeing, again, Warlock on the front cover. Again, I should put in quotations because it's not Warlock, but who I thought was Warlock. And I didn't even notice. And now when I look even closer, I love this so much more because of the story that it tells, the fact that Ileana, how detailed she actually is.
I feel like of her.
Yes, like she's almost covered up. Like,
that's my biggest complaint is that you don't see enough. I would love it if the guy in front of her was smaller and could see more of her.
More detail. Yep. And then you got Sam kind of gliding in the background, which again I didn't really notice. He almost blends in with the line of sight from the visuals. So taking time to really look at this again, and knowing what we know, what happens in this story, like, it is so spot on and incredible. And like, I you don't even notice that. I didn't even know. I thought the sword was pointing like upward, like she's, like saying charge, like they're all going to war or something. So that was another thing. The other thing I questioned was like, how do we go from the winter to the Badlands? I don't understand. Like, again, just looking at it from an outsider, not even diving into these books yet. So it definitely threw me off, and it worked, but it works out so well. So I'm with you guys, and a lot of love in the chat for both of these issues as well. Quick hello to our good friend Kenneth Bird hanging out with us tonight. What's going on, Kenneth? Good to see you. Let's see. There are a couple other things. Conlon said, yeah, 19, such a fire cover. Yeah, man. And for sure, like just like John said, like we get that splash page from the last issue, just on a cover finally. Dan talking about saying that Taylor Joy was awesome. She was incredible in Magic. I'm gonna have to check it out. I will give it a try at some point. And Matt says, yeah, Bill Sienkiewicz is a beast. Absolutely. Matt, you should, and anyone who missed last episode, you all should go check out over on John's channel, because I freaking fanboyed out. We all did.
We all did. It was so great to hear, bro. It was so great to hear you kind of discover it for the first time.
Yes, awesome. It really was. So yeah, Matt, go check it out. Anybody who missed it, definitely check it out. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, Sienkiewicz is the man for sure. All right, let's keep this going then. So as John mentioned and Stu mentioned, the last issues we were kind of left with the remains of what we've seen with the battle of the demon bear, at least the initial battle with Dani, where she goes out into the woods on her own after she's kind of been training. She's been, using the danger room in her own way to kind of get ready for things. And now, and not telling anybody, she's like, I'm going to go face my fear, take on this demon bear, who, if anyone doesn't know, is the one who killed her parents from years ago. So that's kind of where we left off, where she gets destroyed at the end, and it's pretty brutal of a scene. So with that being said, we'll turn to the pages here of issue number 19 for New Mutants, and we immediately get this huge splash page of Dani being on a cart, carried in to a hospital, and really cool perspective just from that splash page right away. And then on top of that, it's all the doctors and nurses trying to figure out what happened, what's going on. It's a real action scene for something where we just came off of something so devastating. There's a lot of fast moving, pace to this set of scenes here. And it's very dark. You get the blood, the red backgrounds, red and black. So of course, Sienkiewicz doing the artwork here. And then as we get this rush scene of them trying to operate and figure out what's wrong, and that all these terrible things, broken bones and shattered this and that, and really gruesome descriptions. We get the kids who are all very devastated. You can see that the rest of the New Mutants teams is kind of standing off to the side. We get to meet the officer. I forget his name here in the very
Corsi, I think it is.
Yep, Officer Corsi, and yeah, he basically is like confirming with them. The kids explain who they are, that they're all friends. Roberto immediately kind of angry and wondering why they're not doing anything. He feels helpless, even though he has his own powers. He can't do anything, and he's kind of blaming and yelling at Officer Corsi here, which is clearly not his fault. But as he does, we get a nurse that comes out and kind of settles everybody down, saying, "Hey, we're in a hospital here. You guys can't be screaming like that." They apologize, but clearly the kids are all fired up and scared and angry and want to get and make sure their friend's okay. So a lot going on here just within these first couple of panels. So John, I'll start with you. What were your initial thoughts as we opened up this book?
I mean, the color work is phenomenal. That red floor with the black lettering of Siege at the bottom.
Yeah.
All the unusual panels in the center there where it has like a pink hue, but with like a bright red and black background. It's just, it brings this intensity, right, to the moment. We already know Dani's on the verge of death. We saw that shocking splash at the end of last issue. And now it's like the ER moment that follows. It's really well executed. And for me, it's obviously the paneling is super strong, but the color work is what all just kind of blows it up for me. Great face expressions all the way through. That nurse at the very last, almost second to last panel, really just a phenomenal drawing. Reminds me of old romance comics. Like, it really has this great depth to it. So yeah, just absolutely phenomenal sequence, and it just draws you right in. Absolutely.
Yep. Well said. Stu, what about you? What were your thoughts when you first started to dive in?
Yeah, man, I think it's incredible. That opening page, I think it's Sienkiewicz reminding you that, I am trying to become an abstract expressionist, but I can still do the straight up classic. I'm still from the Neil Adams school. You know what I mean? It's just such a great straight up shot. The movement in it is so fluid, and like John said, the coloring choices, I love how like the black and the red is just all the chaos and dark energy of the demon bear, and like how this whole issue just feels like a build up to me of to the release that we kind of get in 20. But I just love it, things are still, the foundation is still kind of solid here, but I just love how the choices Sienkiewicz makes artistically. We kind of start out together, but increasingly become unraveled, and things become more and more outside of the panels and out of control. And I don't know, it's fantastic. I think you know, a lot of times in comics of this era, you don't see the creative team, especially with artists and colorists on the same page and synchronicity like this. And I think yeah, that was a great point by John. I think it works so well here and kind of establishes and carries on the theme from 18 and keeps pushing it forward. So,
and Candace points out the primary colors, because the blue and the yellow with that, it's a very primary color design here. A lot of the yellow all the way through to the end with the street lights, the city lights, and that yellow panel at the bottom there. So great call, Candace.
Yeah, and I love just the street light scene.
Something that I love about Sienkiewicz that he does all throughout these books is his facial expressions are just so emotive, and you know, the faces he chooses to present you with, sometimes they feel almost like collages put together, but they always I feel like get across so much emotion, and I found myself continually impressed by that as I was on the reread. So
absolutely. No, I am definitely with you guys. Well, let's keep going. Then we have the rest of the team kind of having a slower moment here, talking it out, trying to figure out what they're going to do next. You know, a lot of it comes down to the frustrations that they have these abilities and there's nothing that they can do about them. Bobby is very frustrated and, you know, questioning, why did it have to snow tonight? They're all kind of in for the night at this point. They want to be out searching for this bear. You know, they're also, you know, just confused and wondering what is this bear? Where did it come from? And why did it attack Danny in that way? And they start to kind of talk about, or, you know, the different clues that they have based on what they knew or what they were, how they were getting to know Danny more with her in the training, in the danger room, you know, practicing more. Ileana was kind of, you know, questioning that earlier. She had never explained that, but Sam is now kind of putting pieces together and realizing, like, yeah, I do remember she had this spirit animal of sorts that was, you know, haunting her or bothering her. And someone that she, you know, had killed her parents. So they're kind of recapping some of the stuff in a way and catching us up to where we are. But at the same time, doing it in a way where, again, the team members are trying to figure out what to do next. And clearly, you know, they believe the New Mutants need her. So they want to go to work here. So you could see Sam kind of dumping out all their uniforms. He's like, hey, we got to be the New Mutants here. We have to step up. And they try to figure out a plan. So they have Sunspot hold the door, and they want Rain to go in as or transform into Wolfbane, because they know that she has this this connection with Danny to try to communicate with her and figure out what is going on. But yeah, just as Stu said, kind of a build up to kind of what we're going through here. But you know, even with this story, this piece of the story, Stu, any thoughts here on just kind of the lead up and hearing the team's thoughts on everything?
I just loved first of all, one of my favorite things, little detail, Sam's hat, the Terry Austin fan club. Did you guys catch that?
Oh
yeah, I love it. Yep. It's so funny.
I need that hat.
Right? Like, we definitely need that out there. But yeah, just like I was talking before, like the framing, I love, like, you know, that shot of Sam when he's talking about, you know, we need to protect our teammates and stuff like that. My favorite part of like this whole spread though is Rain's transformation, man. Like that first shot is so feral and looks so great. Just such a,
and that
such
eye.
a great, yes,
yep,
absolutely. That was for sure my favorite moment of this sequence.
Yep, well said. John, anything you want to add here to these pages?
I think it supports what Stu was saying about the last pages and the facial expressions, because there's some super strong ones here. That one of Bobby all in yellow with the red background where he's just like got his clenched fists and the intensity on it. That one of Sam pointing where he's basically, you know, to your point, Justin, obviously this is a recap of last issue, but what it is instead, as an interesting writer choice, is it's our heroes catching up to what the readers already knew. Yep. Right? The readers knew this stuff. The kids didn't understand it because Danny was keeping these secrets, right? What I love this moment is it's Sam's moment. It's Sam's moment to basically say, like, guys, I think I figured this whole thing out. I brought our suits because I wanted to make sure we're going to be the ones to protect her now. We got to be the ones to be ready to do this. So suit up. Like I'm being the leader. I may not know the right answers to everything, but somebody needs to step up. It's going to be me. And I like that moment for him when he dumps out all the suits and gives the pronunciation of like, this is what happened. You guys, I put the pieces together. I've solved the crime.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Well, let's keep going here because, we get kind of the plan as they put it into motion. Rain turning into Wolfbane now, going in and trying to communicate telepathically with Danny, and she does get some pieces. And meanwhile, in a way, there's a lot going on here. Especially with the word bubbles and stuff. You have the actual thought and communication between Rain and Danny, and her trying to get the little pieces that Danny can say. She's barely saying words. She's saying, "Rainy, the bear, listen, must tell." And you're just getting little pieces. Meanwhile, you have the doctors who are trying to operate, trying to work. There's got to be surgery to be done. And they're all, trying to be very careful with what they're doing. And of course, Rain doesn't want to mess that up either. So with that being said, on the second page here, the little bit of words that she does get, they end up, giving her more anesthesia and knocking her out so she doesn't get anything else. But Rain comes back and she's very upset. She's, blaming herself for kind of the situation that everything's in. She feels like she could have done something better. Meanwhile, Sam also blaming himself as to why they're in this whole situation to begin with. And when she comes back and kind of explains to the team there, as you can see at the bottom right-hand corner, they just kind of go through some details as far as what was said or what came out, what Rain was trying to make out of everything. And she said that she goes, I must have got the next bit wrong. She says, the beast is mortally scared of her. Sam says, why? She says, because she possesses the powers to destroy it. But Amara's like, well, then why didn't she use it to save herself? And she's like, I don't know. So they're all kind of thrown off now just from the messaging that they were kind of getting, or Rain was kind of getting from this stuff. John, any thoughts here with, I guess with the communication that Rain was doing?
So many great little artistic choices here. I really love the way they jump close to Danny's face, the way you see Rain turning back into her mortal like human self. That panel that's farthest top, you have like a shadow of who she was in sort of that blue silvery color, and then it is her underneath as she's teary faced, kind of like coming out of beast form. And then my favorite is that the magic Ileana drawing where she's like clearly been standing in the back just absorbing everything everybody's saying, and when they're trying to understand the power of this creature, they're like, well, of course it's magic, and then she's like, and so am I.
Yes.
And when you want to be Rain, you can be pretty fearsome yourself. We'll give this beast a run for its money. Like I was like, yeah. And she's standing in those shadows because it's, that darkness inside of her, soul, whatever. Like it's really, she knows what she's got to do, and she's going to have to play a significant part here.
Yep, yeah, absolutely. JP says, yeah, the image of magic at the bottom panel. Yeah, totally agree. Definitely the in the shadows kind of vibes. Stu, what about you? What were your thoughts on some of
just to pick up on John's point, that so am I line was so good. They put it in the movie, and I agree. I completely agree. This is when, for me, the book stopped being about Danny and started being about magic. Mm-hmm. And she really kind of shows her strengths for the first time, as she will again, multiple times as a great team leader. Like John just said, encouraging her homies and saying, "We got this," because there's so many times that these guys find themselves on their asses and really don't know how to handle this thing. And time and time again throughout this run, it's Ileana who's going to be the one, and this is the first instance of that. And I just love how she comes out of the darkness. So yeah, for me, that's what it's all about, dude. And it's kind of crazy how, you think it's everything is going to be about Danny and whether she holds on, and it's all going to happen at this hospital, and it's all about the demon bear, and just how it transforms and evolves from there is so powerful. So yeah, love this moment. One of the best in the arc, I would say.
Absolutely. Well, let's keep it going because we do shift gears just a little bit, and we get the Star Jammers. We get our guy John.
Yeah, you do.
John,
there he is.
Cody.
There it is. Right off the bat. Good to see our guy.
Yeah, man.
It's amazing.
I was ready for tonight.
I love it. Yeah, some really great artwork here. We get kind of the outer space vibes. We get that dark red moon or planet in the background. And yeah, we get the Starjammers who some excitement on their end alone. They first, yes, we get Chad kind of getting disrupted and asking what the matter is. They flip over and we get Binary with Corsair, the rest of the team, who are being alerted that there is this living or this living being, or I think they describe as a vessel, two vessels that are flying very fast through time and through space. And they're very concerned. They don't know what it is, what it could be. They're just showing up on their radar, and they're realizing that where it's headed to Earth, and that they're going to need to either at least try to follow it or track it down. Corsair basically says to the rest of them, like, it's not possible for us to catch it at the rate that they're going. We would need, he mentions like a Stargate and everything else to even get there, to even get close to what happens. And pretty kind of devastating words with not Ileana. What's her name again, John? Lilandra, sorry.
Lilandra,
yeah, saying, Corsair's like, isn't there anything we can do? And Lilandra says, we can wait, pray, and should the worst occur, avenge. So they don't really know what's going on. For us as the readers and as a guess, because it technically does not say what this is, but I'm assuming that this is from the bits and pieces of Warlock and his father from last episode, where they're chasing, where Warlock's trying to escape. Again, we know very little, but Warlock, all we know is he's trying to escape, and his father, for whatever the reason is trying to kill him. So that's like a whole side drama all on its own that Claremont has decided to continue to sprinkle little seeds around. So but they took about 2.5 pages up with this stuff. So John, I'll pass it to you first. What were your thoughts here when turning the page, you got to see Starjammers?
I mean, I was pumped to see Binary. I think there's not enough comics with this version of Carol Danvers, so to have Bill draw, more and more. That the one thing I didn't like is that first close up of Corsair. I don't know what's going on there. He looks like Gollum. He's like, all his shoulders are bunched up high. Like, I don't know who that is. That's a real Grinch moment for Corsair. Although, let's be honest, to JP's point, it is a Summers, so I guess that's probably the bigger problem there. But the other panels I love a ton. I think the artwork is really interesting and strong here. He's putting his own stamp on the interstellar kind of side of Marvel. But I don't know what's going on with that Corsair drawing. Whatever.
JP says, Binary does make the page better. There it is. Stu, what about you? What are your thoughts with the Starjammers?
It was a little too long of a sequence for me, but like it was cool to see Sienkiewicz's Binary. That character was on the Heroes Con 2024 shirt, so like it kind of it took me back to that time. So Heroes Con 2025, baby. Other than that, it was cool. It was cool to see Sienkiewicz go in space. But yeah, it just felt a little bit too long for me.
That's fair. Absolutely. No, that's fair. Ryan, sorry, my mind goes blank. Every time I get Ileana and then I think of Lilandra, the L's throw me off. So a lot going on.
Bobby in the chat. What's up, Bobby?
Hey, Station Bobby. Good to see you, my friend.
Go Bills.
Shots fired.
Love you, Baba.
So let's keep it going here. We flash back to back to the hospital and Rain looking onward, as they take a break, I guess, from the surgeries that they were performing on Danny, and she's just at this point dismissing Danny as dead. She's devastated, she's sad, she's angry, and she thinks that her friend has gone through all the suffering, and that that she's not going to be she's going to die through this process. Meanwhile, you got Corsi, the cop, walking back through, seeing Rain in her Wolfbane costume, which again, and they remind us in the beginning that no one knows that they're all mutants, so this is still something they need to kind of keep careful of. And so he's Corsi sees what he thinks he sees is Wolfbane running. He chases her down, and then she quickly runs to the corner into this other room. She changes back into Rain, and the cop's like, oh, sorry, you're not who I thought you were. And he just thinks he saw something. He's like, clearly the knights are getting to him. And I love that sequence. Then he goes back to the rest of the nurses and the you know, the people that were out in the hospital and just starts hitting on the one nurse there. Totally open. The rest of the doctors are kind of listening in, not afraid at all to kind of, you know, shoot his shot and see if he can get somewhere with her. And then meanwhile, they hear this devastating scream. And the two of them, the nurse and the police officer, look up at all that red and black that you see there, and the E, and then the rest of the team who's, you know, sleeping at the moment, the New Mutants wake up and they run over and they see blood everywhere, the stain that's on the ground in that small panel on the far side. But yeah, kind of a lot happening here just within these short sequences. So Stu, I'll pass it to you. Yeah, give me your thoughts.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'd love you know, Rain kind of running for her life there. You know, for me, it's obviously all about when the demon bear shows up and attacks the officer and the nurse. Yeah, I thought it was a great little panel though, just to see that little conversation and you know, him being super cocky and all that. Also, the artist Mike Deodato likes to draw like.
Okay, I'm so glad you're gonna do this. I'm so glad you're gonna do this.
He likes to draw. Like, he's got a book where Carol Burnett plays a hitman, basically.
Yeah.
Like, he draws modern day, you know, actors and actresses into his comic books. Is that not Hitchcock right there?
That is Alfred freaking Hitchcock.
Oh,
right
okay. Wow. No.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to be the
and
one
I feel like behind
Hitchcock.
Hitchcock is somebody else that I can't name. You know what I mean? I can't put my finger on.
I didn't even cross my mind.
Maybe
yeah.
a better verse,
super young De Niro or something.
Yeah, right. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's definitely Hitchcock.
No, that's 100% Alfred Hitchcock. Like 1,000%. Like
absolutely.
And to give his face that big of a like panel, like it's super clear that that's Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah.
But maybe that's a little bit of a love letter to the fact that we're getting a kind of suspense thriller story here, and obviously he was the king of suspense, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But yes, I'm so glad you said that and that you spotted that, because I was like that. I turned the page, I was like, I don't remember Hitchcock being in this.
Yeah,
book.
right. And it's like, I don't know if that's a practice that Sienkiewicz kept up. That would be interesting to find out whether or not he did, because I know Deodato likes to do that, and it's always cool to see, like, you know, who they're gonna to put in their art. But yeah, for me, I just love that Demon Bear panel with the E and the way he just
teeth.
Yeah, it's just, that's an all timer. It's so good.
Absolutely. John, what about you? What are your thoughts here, Dad?
No, I mean, Stu hit a home run. That's exact all my thoughts. He got all of them. They're perfect. Yeah, and I did get Deodato vibes, and you know, he's such a talent and has had so many great books that I turned the page and I was like, oh man, I can maybe I'd love to ask Deodato what artists maybe inspired his thinking about doing that, and maybe it's some of these early guys. That'd be phenomenal.
Yep, absolutely. Well, let's keep it going. We got now that the team is alert and that they know something's up, the bear is attacking. You know, people are dying, and they need to do everything they can to protect Dani. They know that this bear is after her, and so you know, Roberto is there with Ileana, and they essentially plan to protect it any way they can. In this case, Ileana using her magic and really almost every ounce of it to put these wards around the room so that you know, protection from the bear. So at this point now, the room is kind of encapsulated with these wards, and that, you know, nothing can come in and out as far as that the bear, the demon bear, whatever it can do. Meanwhile, the doctors don't have a clue. They are just focused on the surgery, doing what they need to do, and they are oblivious as of right now to the screams, to the wards, to the, you know, the potential bear that's coming for them, and all these things. Bobby's there to kind of comfort or catch Ileana, just to show how much, you know, of her power she really had to use in order to put these wards up. And again, as Stu mentioned in the beginning, like, this is, you see this transition where this book becomes all about Ileana Rasputin. And I love, you know, I've said this in the previous episode, where, you know, I love that we're learning more about her abilities as we go. And it seems to be, you know, every book that we've gone through and every page almost, we're getting these cool new, you know, moves that she has, or powers that she can do, or different abilities. So really cool to see that. And then, yeah, as they're kind of settling in, the bear comes into attack and they go right into attack mode. Roberto dashing at the bear. This has not worked every single time that there's an opportunity where, you know, you can either wait for a second and talk out plans or dash after the thing they're trying to attack. And him and Sam, they just always
every time the men get a second to breathe, they're like, all right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna fucking bum rush them.
It literally never works.
No, stop it.
Dude, it drives me
so
nuts.
glad I'm not the one bringing it up this time. I feel I feel like I've been bringing it up every time.
and it clearly never worked. I mean, look, you see the slam. Bobby, gets backhanded immediately. Yeah. You see the claws kind of coming through and slashing at Ileana, which, interesting enough, you know, she does get her arm cut up. You do see some really unique armor of some sort, which even she's surprised about and questioning, like, oh, I have she says, by the abyss, my arm. And she looks at, and sees this. Later, she has her soul sword. She goes and stabs the bear. And it seems like she got the bear. You see this fading, the yellow, the reds to the yellow, as if it's disappearing, as if she's, got it at this point. Finally Sam and Rain come running in, and the lights go out of nowhere. Trying to figure out what happens there. The generator, they have to get the generator kicks back in, and then the doctors, they kind of look up for a second, realizing that something's going on, but then they're like, no, like, we need to focus here. We have this girl's life in our hands. We have to do everything we can to save her. And then at that bottom right hand corner, kind of showing the generator room and the power lines that are cut. So the team's gonna have to kind of figure that out and make sure power can run so the surgeries are successful. But so a lot in these pages as well. John, I'm curious to your thoughts here, especially with some of the artwork that's utilized, the coloring, the fading of the bear as Ileana strikes it with the sword and all that stuff.
I'm fascinated by things occurring at the same time in pop culture, 2 movies about asteroids hitting Earth or whatever.
Yeah.
This gives me like total Nightmare on Elm Street vibes. Like, they're fighting a monster. They've got a team together, but the monster's splitting them off into groups. It gives me full Nightmare on Elm Street vibes. And these books were on shelves about 4 months before Nightmare on Elm Street hit theaters. I don't know if Claremont got an early screener or something. I don't know if the trailer was dropped or what, but I'm getting a ton of the vibes of that Nightmare on Elm Street universe, and teenagers fighting a monster that's coming out of their dreams, and there's just a ton of for me connective tissue between these books and my 80s love of Freddy Krueger. And I'm all for it. Even the claws slashing at you, and almost as if in a dream, she creates her own armor from the wound. It's kind of wild. I dig all of it.
Yeah. Good point.
It's funny.
Go ahead.
It's funny you say that, because when I was reading it, it reminded me of Godfather 2, when Marlon Brando, the Donna's got all shut up and he's got to get him out of the hospital. He knows that the killers are coming, and it's like, it felt like that same type of situation with Danny in the hospital, and they knew the demon bear was coming. Like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, love it. Quick hello to our good friend Gore Vidal hanging out in the chat, and a lot of praise to Bill Sienkiewicz. Says brilliant. Did I say brilliant work? Yeah, couldn't agree more. Gore, we were just continuing to highlight the stunning work that he's doing here. Well, let's keep this going here. We have Ileana, who's trying to get these power lines reconnected, and Wolfbane there to help. But of course, as she does, she gets struck by another claw that's coming through right when you thought the bear was gone. It's not. She gets another slash that came out of nowhere, that red bar there. But again, this armor that kind of shows up on her back and her rib cage that apparently it protected her. She even says, like, that would have been bad otherwise, but that she's able to live through that with whatever this armor is. And the rest of the way, you got Rain kind of jumping in, trying to protect her where she can, and then you get this incredible splash page where now you get the demon bear, you get this I guess orb or bubble here of the actual surgery itself, and then you get the police officer and the nurse that are also standing there. This also very much reminded me of Gideon Falls. I had mentioned that last episode, that a lot of the artwork and the darkness, the horror type vibes are very much it reminded me of Gideon Falls. Obviously, this came way before Gideon Falls came out from Sorrento and Lemire, but yes, very similar cool vibes there. So this is how this issue ends. John, what are your thoughts on kind of this ending, this action sequence? The bear is very much still here and didn't go away.
I mean, I freaking love it. This Demon Bear trilogy just keeps hitting all the buttons, just absolutely getting you psyched, even if you're like as lost in what's happening as these teenagers. Danny screams something like I don't know how. Everybody's like, Danny, you gotta, or sorry, they're screaming at Ileana, you gotta save us. And she's like, I'm figuring this out as I go, y'all. Come on. I think there's some really great drama happening here, and they're all just grasping at straws trying to protect their friends. And then that last splash page, whoa, that is just psychedelic. Pour me another one, light it up. Let's go where this is going, because it's just wild. Facial expressions, that Ileana like clawing at her own neck, holy cow.
Oh yeah,
as Bearded Comic Bro would say, holy buckets. She's down there trying to put new safeguards on, and the bear is smashing on the wards that she had set upstairs, and she feels it like tearing into herself, and she's just like, it's like she's clawing at herself. Look at the intensity of that. Holy cow.
Yep. Yeah,
love it all. Great call.
Stu, what about you? What are your thoughts here on how this issue ends?
I'd love, like we saw in the previous page, I just love Sienkiewicz's use of the panels, and whether it's vertical or horizontal. Like when he goes vertical, and just with, sometimes the demon bear's facial features and the claws just makes him look so huge and intimidating. And like the claw action into these folks that we continually get either horizontally or vertically across both of these issues is fantastic. And I think this is a perfect example of it here. Ileana's armor kind of like, first showing up in this issue, manifesting is right. This is the first appearance of her armor popping up. Am I correct in that? Or is that canon?
I think so.
Okay. And it's like, I just love how it's just like, he's the perfect artist to bring that to fruition and to kind of bear the burden of its creation, because it's just awesome and different every time. And I love how like sometimes it's scraggly and kind of half put together, and other times it looks real polished and more developed. It's as she kind of starts to understand herself. And I just love these characters kind of still all unsure about themselves and their relationships with each other. And now, this oh shit moment we get at the end of it, where they're getting dragged, out of reality and into the demon bear's territory, man. And I think that's a jaw dropper. And when you talk about like looking at cover 20, what's going on, before you turn the page, like, is that magma? Why does she look like that? Why is Ileana above her with a sword? Now, like, the stakes are automatically super, super high. And, our back is like, we didn't think things could get worse, coming out. Now we're in his territory, and we don't know how that's going to go. And it's just, it's such a treat. So I can't wait to get into it. But it's just such an amazing cliffhanger at the end of 19.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I wanted to highlight Gore's dropping some knowledge here in the chat. One of the things he says is Bill's personal life in the early 80s was a mess. Both he and his wife had serious substance abuse issues. Then she had an affair with another artist. Messy divorce, but his art is shown. That's I mean, you definitely can see it in these pages. And I had no idea, or don't know much about Bill's personal life, but that is that's really interesting.
I think it continues down below. His art shows anguish on the page, I think is what he means.
Oh yep. So let's get into this next issue then. We get a brief recap in this cool kind of 4 panel page here, kind of setting the stage for what's next, and I think does a good job helping for anyone who might just randomly be jumping in at this point. But then the big picture is this the spread page, where you get the description of what they're calling the Darkness Descends, a view from 20,000 feet, and it's that little checkerboard there,
A
or
grid,
graph, grid, to show just these black markings, and it explains that the black areas represent areas of the land consumed by the demon bear shadow. They're calling it the Chronicle of the New Mutants. And this is the issue's called Badlands, and this is where the team has now been brought to what is known as the Badlands. And it's as Ileana explains, it's a bridge. She's pointing out, seeing this globe that's in the floating in the air, and it's a bridge between the real world and the world that they're in right now. The one thing for sure is that she still has these magical wards that are protecting that globe or that orb, and that's kind of all the team knows. Everyone else doesn't really know what else is happening, but Ileana thinks that my sorcerer's powers are limited back home, but it seems to me mostly magical. This is a mostly magical realm. I'll try my best to use her powers. So the playing field might be even in that regard, but we'll find out here in a little bit. But some really eerie shadows of those two, the nurse and the police officer, still above the bear and everything else. But we get the full glimpse of the bear at this point. So John, what are your thoughts here on just these opening scenes in this spread page?
Heck yeah, is my thought. Like, I opened this up and I was like, what? There's so much to like here. There's just so much. Honestly, it reminds me of Little Bird and Precious Metal, and flipping a page and just being like, I don't know what some of this is, but I want more of it. Like, I need a lot of it. Everything from the transition of color in these 4 panels, from like this faint yellow to orange to just blood red. Like, you get this sense of death coming, like just dire, right? And then that funky map that he keeps referencing all through the issue, that funky grid, which I don't even fully understand it, but
I love it so much. It's so great.
Yeah.
And then the perspective with the super tiny kids, the giant demon bear, and then this like crazy gorgeous like New Mexico almost like background that you're just like, I don't know where we are and what's happening, but if a dragon flew through here, I would buy it. If a truck drove by and it was a busy highway, I would buy that. Like, you just, whatever it is, I'm here for it. Like, make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Stu, what about you? What were your thoughts on the initial pages here?
I mean, I second everything John said, man. Just I stick it in my veins. It's I would just want more of it. I love the map of despair. I love the credits, how everything's the Badlands title. The cerulean blue in the background. I love how we're starting to learn more. I don't know if it's in these pages or right after it, but we're starting to learn more about the demon bear and what he comes to represent. And this is supposed to be Native American country before it was spoiled by the white man, and the purity of that kind of turned in on itself. And so it gets really heavy and poetic on a lot of and that's what I love about, like, Claremont turns Sienkiewicz loose all the way in this issue, right? But he doesn't cut back on the verbosity, like, and not in a bad, I don't mean that in a bad way, but he has so many great moments where he does so much to help, like, frame a scene or make it mean more, or does a good job with the thought bubbles. Like, I feel like he finds a way to maintain who he is as a writer in a really unique way, especially in this comic in particular with Sienkiewicz. And this is it's just a mind-blowing opening splash page. And I love the little red globe, right, of the world of the surgeons working on Danny back there,
floating there. It's very eerie. No, I'm definitely with you there. Let's jump right in. This next bit is just wild. So out of nowhere, you just see the claws go into these individuals that are floating, the nurse and the police officer. Man, they're having a bad day. Like that, I know people have bad days at work, but these two have a really bad day. And they get transformed into it seems to be these Native American dress type of style that, but again, very much haunting or dead-like almost, just within this red area here. So really, really wicked scene. I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on that. And then, of course, in the middle pages, guys, we're at it again. One of the guys just step up. Sam says, you know what? I'm just gonna go at this bear. I'm just gonna. This is got to work at some point. So he just flies right in there, and even Ileana, he screams, says, "No, like that is not the move." Like the pages we were just on was Roberto asking Magic to use her sorcery abilities. You know, like
Right.
let's regroup here, think about it, and like they look away, and Sam's like already flying. So he takes off. That clearly doesn't work. You see this backhand, or no, actually before that, he hits him away, and so it kind of deflects him. He goes flying, and then you see these two again. What were the police officer and the nurse? These ghouls now get into like a formation of battle, and they're ready to basically fight for this demon bear, and guessing that the demon bear is controlling them at this point and just making them do the work. But they have all these crazy abilities. They can fly. They've got a bow and arrow, and then they have these other fire bolts that the one is shooting out of her hands. So even Roberto's like jumping around, not sure how to handle this. Meanwhile, you get the bear, who basically the plan for the bear at this point is to have these two demons attack the New Mutants, while the bear can now focus on trying to break through the wards that Magic is had protected. So as he's doing that, you see this cool slash across the bottom middle panel page there, and that's just him trying to get even the slightest bit open to see, into this world. And meanwhile, one of the doctors actually sees for a glimpse of a second, can see the other world, the Badlands world, and kind of blanks out for a second. The other two doctors are like, hey, buddy, you good right now? And he's like, yeah, sorry. I just love that, because we get that in the first one with the police officer. We got one here now. People just thinking they're seeing things. And I will tell you right now, if I ever am in that situation where I think I saw something and I'm having a weird day, I'm going to believe whatever I saw at this point.
You're going to be like, demon bear.
Yes, it is around us. So want to hear your guys' thoughts here. Stu, give me your take on this amazing artwork. Come on,
man. Like I said before, like I just love the kinetic energy of the bear claws going left and right there, right, and stabbing both of these people, and then like the transformation is so great. Like I feel like he's almost I don't know, hinting at the creation of the character, or I think Warlock. What is it? His next issue to shine, right? His next arc. So, and I feel like so many creations and iterations of his artwork and the lead up to that look like him. So it's kind of interesting. And also Ralph Steadman, man, it just has so much Ralph Steadman vibes from this early Sienkiewicz. But my favorite panel is Demon Bear slashing through the hospital, man. I love it. I love the contrast of the colors. It just looks so great. And like you said, the doctor kind of losing his place. We've all been working late hours, man. We got to save this kid. Like it was fantastic. Coffee, But yeah, it was such a great and visceral moment. Like so many. Yeah.
Absolutely. A couple things I want to highlight before I pass it to you, John.
Yes, the chat is on fire.
JP says, exactly what tactics was Chuck been teaching Sam and Roberto? Just charge in without thinking. You'll be fine. Yeah, exactly. These guys, and Danny has told them many times, like, guys, that's not the strategy. We need to work as a team. And yet Sam insists on going in. 9-panel grid says, I want to see the comic where those two possessed employees have to fill out an incident report. Have fun explaining that. Yeah, we will definitely get into that as well.
At the end, when they have to write their HR, healthcare, what happened at work today report, it's gonna be
not even that. Like when this nurse has to go back to her husband, her man. She said in the beginning she's got a man. She's got some explaining to do.
It's gonna be an awkward conversation.
So John, give me your take here on some of the artwork and the action that's going on.
I love your description of the action here, especially Sam deciding, I'm going to just fly at this thing. And Adam perfectly quotes Willy Wonka, don't stop, come back.
Yes.
Like, very much like, yeah, Sam, go for it. I will give Sam this bit of credit. He does knock the demon bear down and then decides, now I'm going to hit him again. And that's when he gets slapped down. So at least he catches the demon bear off guard because he's trying to create his two warriors. He's trying to corrupt the souls of these two beings that he's captured, and that takes a little time, a little distracted. So then he gets knocked down by Cannonball, which I think is cool. My favorite panel, maybe in this issue, and it's real again, we keep saying favorites and then turn the page and find another favorite.
I
Bottom middle, the one you described, Justin, where the bear just basically shreds a big hole in time, space, and those wards, and the doctor's like, holy crap.
Yeah.
That was a wall, and now I'm seeing daylight and a bear claw and superheroes fighting, and I'm like, wait, what? I love that panel. So good.
Agreed. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Is that Sunspot in the middle of it right there with the little?
He's like jumping or
flying. He's kind of like hopping around because she's throwing like these firebolts at him.
Awesome.
Firebolts of black lightning is what he describes it as.
Okay.
So some sort of black lightning, pretty wicked stuff. Yeah, Dan, we agree. Just stunning. Absolutely. Bobby said, yeah, I can feel the drugs coming off this page. Seriously. Wow. That's wild. All right, let's keep it going. So I wanted to, John, you'll notice I started getting even a little more creative with the way I lay my own panels out with all the creativity that
it forces you to make different choices, right? Because it really is interesting.
Yeah. So I got a little creative on my own, but I wanted to blow this one part up because just to highlight what Ileana's going through at this very moment, because it's not just the battle scene. It's as a reminder, the wards that she put up in the beginning, that is part of her. She explains that here too, where that it's taking up all her strength. First of all, she needs to her powers. She needs to be able to keep that ward. If she lets that go, then the demon bear can have at Danny with no guarded room of operate, the hospital, and just be able to kill Danny however it wants to. So she needs to be able to do that, but she's at the bottom barrel of her power. So because of that, she feels I'm not going to be able to fight these other demons at the same time. She needs to rely on her team. And again, just pointing out, this is where teamwork comes in, right? And so she needs to rely on the rest of the team to kind of protect her while she protects Danny. So again, that's kind of where we're at the moment. I just love kind of this angle and the what she's dealing with right now. There's more to that panel actually, but I kind of cropped some of it out to kind of fit that in, just to show you her face up front. But everybody's kind of going through some stuff. So meanwhile, Amara, she steps up, says, all right, turns into magma, has the fire and the flames going. She goes, let me take a shot at this one demon. She goes firing away. But then Bobby tackles her and says, no, we can't do anything that's going to actually harm these quote unquote demons, because at the end of the day, they are human beings. They're, who are we to we don't know if they're still alive. We don't know,
that's that policeman that almost shot Rain. We can't hurt him. He awkwardly was hitting on that nurse and she didn't want any piece of it. We can't possibly, we got to worry about this guy.
Maybe listen, Bobby's, he's trying to be there. He's trying to put his heart first. But no, it doesn't work. I mean, as he's, and look, even Mara would agree, John. And she's like, hey, look, innocents or not, Roberto, they can still destroy us. Sometimes for the greater good, my friend, sacrifices must be made. And I like that Mara does have that, I mean, look, she comes from a different time. She's a little old school.
They execute you in Nova Roma. For,
Nova Roma's a little
stealing a pebble. So you better watch out.
So while these two are bickering, the one actually gets a rope around Roberto and starts to spin around in a bunch of circles and throws him off. And the rope gets cut, goes flying off. And this is just another reminder for as far as just the New Mutants and how their powers work. I love that we kind of come back to this with Roberto as we learn more about him. Just a reminder, he's not vulnerable the way that Sam is when he goes flying. So for him, he's rocketing, and these things he's gonna feel this stuff as he goes flying. Luckily, he is able to kind of combat the land a little bit based on his athletic skills from earlier. But that's really it. And then on top of that, so the other demon comes out of nowhere, kind of hugs or squeezes him, and as it says, in terror, in agony. That bottom right hand page or panel there, Bobby is looking like he's about to die. Pretty wicked set of scenes here. Stu, I'll throw it your way, man. What are your thoughts here?
I mean, it's just yet another case of the men just ruining everything, man. The women are trying to step up and take initiative and take the fight to the demon bear, and the men want to ruin everything. So I don't know. It's kind of wild. He got bear hugged, then lassoed and spun around. He got he found himself in a super pickle. So it's kind of crazy that I think another example of like how these guys are disjointed, not together, insecure, all over the place, conflicting voices. Who's the authority? Who's calling the shots? And eventually that all kind of settles down with the help of our girl here coming up. But this is why she had to step up, right here.
Absolutely. John, what about you, or anything to add to these pages?
The creatures really look wild.
Yes, looks so good.
That top red beast picture with the tomahawk looking all crazy, and then of course, those panels of Bobby basically getting suplexed. Not quite. I guess he's not getting flipped upside down yet. He's got a wrestling move going on there. I was expecting. I know there was a talk of who gets Danny's belt, but I didn't realize it was like a WWE thing.
Yeah, right. The championship belt.
Yeah. There's some bold moves happening here. Somebody's got to show up with a foldable chair, I think. Yeah, Dan, I appreciate you, man. I know exactly how that goes when you got two shows you really want to watch. The fact that you're splitting screens off for us, I appreciate it. Or catch one of us on the rewind. We appreciate you, no matter how you take.
I was actually wondering, did he mean our other show? We didn't do 220 yet.
Another show apparently is doing a voice reading of 220.
That's cool.
We're not to the 200s yet.
Yeah, right. I forgot.
One day, season 17.
We got a couple of years ahead of us.
But no, yeah, great stuff. This is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. JP says, female X-Men being smarter than the guys. That seems unlikely. Or maybe I should say constantly true.
I mean,
yes, constantly true.
Big facts.
These guys. So wait now. Let's keep going here. We get some more wicked pages here. We get one of these demons who are about to, again, what looks to be, killing Roberto, but Rain comes out of nowhere as Wolfbane, and at least buys a little bit of time at the moment. And then meanwhile, she's about to get taken out by the other demon. And so Amara steps in as Magma again to kind of break things up. And then right when that happens, the demon bear comes striking down. Look at that middle panel shooting downward. Very similar to how grabbed those two, demons to begin with. Now gets a hold of Amara, and to our understanding, once the bear does this to you, it's going to take over. It's going to take control of your powers, your abilities, and you can see that transformation in these middle pages. And that's where we start. This is where I got the connection of the front cover is Amara. That's the eyes, the circles, and the flames and the hair. It's all coming together. But yeah, she's starting to get transform. Meanwhile, you have Ileana there, who's stepping up, says, I need to do something now. She gets her soul sword, comes out with it, and I love this big, paw coming at her. And she realizes that the only way to save Amara at this point is not to stab the bear, but to stab Amara, her friend, and release her in the same way that she had done for the others. So we get Sam screaming Amara, and just completely blown away with what just happened there. So I got to hear your guys' stuff. I know it goes right into this next bit, but before we do, John, artwork, man, give me some thoughts here, man.
JP has got it. The art in these pages is freaking amazing. And Stu pointed it out early on, and I'm so glad he did. The use of horizontal panels, vertical panels. Obviously, we get this crazy one here with Amara being stabbed by the claws. So freaking amazing. The color work. Look at the blue background, the purple background, the blue, the dark white, the gray backgrounds. It just jumps all around, and the intensity is so jarring, right? It makes for such a dramatic reading because you're just unstable, right, from panel to panel. And then she lobs his hand off, and you're like, "What?" Soul sword coming to town, and that close up of her hand, sticking out towards us, where she's like, "Okay, I don't have a lot of options left. We're gonna stab this bitch." And
going ham.
Cuts the hand off, and then the next panel, when you see the stump, and there's these crazy energy rings inside of it, where it's almost like atoms circling one another, electrons. There's just something so phenomenal inside the beast's hand. Of course, the teeth and the rage, and then that is just wild. And then she instantly goes, Let's try it on. Let's try it. Worked on the beast. Let's try Amara next. It's so great. And the entire character side of this plays into the fact that none of them trust her. None of them trust Ileana. They don't have faith in her. They're just stuck with her, and this pushes that to the limit. So such a great sequence that builds the character relationship so wonderfully, and they're just trying different things, and it goes so well.
Yep. Absolutely. Stu, I got to get your thoughts here. The artwork, and on top of that, what are your thoughts on Rodney showing up in the book? That was pretty
wild, right? Well, dude, first of all, women back coming to the rescue again, right? Like Sunspot getting saved, and then Magma taking the L for her girl. The panel with Magma is like one of the coloring on her down there at the bottom is like one of my favorite moments in the book. And then when Magic lops off Demon Bear's hand, I just love that bit of narration from Claremont. The Eldritch Blade is pure as silver, so bright human eyes can't endure to look at it. It is the ultimate expression of Ileana's sorceress power, her soul personified. Like, it was such a badass way to frame that. And like John said, just to look at that, we got like the Kirby crackle kind of going on. Like, it was just so fantastic, man. Such a killer moment. And this is like when tides started to turn a little bit, and you're like, wait a minute, we got some kryptonite on the crew. What's gonna happen? So
that's right.
That's right.
All right. Well, yeah, let's dive in. So as we see Sam screaming Amara's name, he's angry. He's pissed. He's confused. He doesn't understand why Magic would do that. Of course, doesn't, ask or communicate, but he immediately goes right after Magic. And
so he just doesn't think and charges right in and smashes something.
Yes,
got it.
Smash
got
first
it.
and then talk later. He
He's
goes right. He goes, you killed her. And this is where we get more of the panels of him kind of going through some of these Badland, lands here. He says, Rain had you pegged from the beginning, starts, going off about all the history of the doubt that potentially they might have had about her, being this evil source. And sure enough, he lets go. She goes flying by, lands, and is able to actually stand because she has more armor that shows up around her. And she goes, if you just let me finish, if you just let me explain myself for a second, Sam, then this, you would understand why I did what I did. And then of course, she takes time, looks at her arm, notices all this armor now is everywhere. She's blown away by it. And then on top of that, you have Amara, who just like, it starts yelling at Sam right off the bat, saying, "You idiot! What are you doing?" He's like, "Well, what? I thought she was killing you. What?" And he's like, "No. She was saving me because my body was being possessed by that."
I
demon.
think you need to read all of Sam's lines in that voice from now on. What? I don't know. He can be from Jersey now. Like, from the South, but like, I like all of it. What? I thought what?
It is So and then we get this beautiful spread page, or at least portions of that one middle bar is full. If you guys have the omnibus or the issue itself, beautiful. And you get a couple panels on top and bottom. You do get to see that graph again, the chart there, and it's mostly black at this point. And the main thing that we learned in this portion here is that even though they got a tiny win for a second, saving Amara, chopping off the hand of the bear, Ileana's realizing that the clouds are gone. I mean, it's all dark at this point. There's no sunlight. The most of that chart is black, and that's representing that the shadows are almost everywhere, which is obviously going to stop Roberto. It's going to affect the team as a whole, and clearly this bear just keeps getting stronger the more that this team tries to kill it. The rest of the team kind of is mixed bag. They're, feeling like it's over, like they're not going to be able to do anything. And Magic comes to the realization that, she remembers what Rain had said in the very, very beginning when she had first communicated briefly with Danny, and understanding that, Danny did say technically the bear is afraid of Danny because Danny has the ability or the power or the secret to stopping the demon bear. So she's like, hey, we got to go back to the source. We got to go back to Danny. We have to ask her, Rain, we need you to go back and try to figure out the rest of the way what the details are. Of course, Rain doesn't really want to do that. She feels like she already put Danny through so much to begin with. Who knows what's going to happen if she tries to do it again. But at this point, their backs are against the wall. They have nothing really left that they can do. So she moves forward to do this, and she's even like preparing herself in that kind of that far section there, just saying, "Forgive me, I'm going back in. We need you," and so she starts the communication there. But still want to get your thoughts here. Sam, again, kind of aggressively.
Here we go.
Yeah. What are your thoughts here on this stuff?
Yeah, obviously, just
fire away.
Jumping to conclusions too quick and
yes,
coming to regret it immediately. Because they had the not really the demon bear where they wanted it, but they had at least had an advantage and upper hand for a second, and he took that away. So that was critical. On the right side of the page, one of my favorite parts of the comic book here, man, and where I love them all talking in the background. They're in the top right, all of them talking in the background. Oh, we're okay. We're kind of all together, but man, we're beat up. We're down bad. And that's the moment that Ileana remembers what Rain said, has that kind of eureka moment, and she looks like such a proud, like JP was saying, man, her face and her hair, she looks proud and stoic in that top panel and like a leader. And then from down there, it's like one panel later, God, what does Sam say? Well, I guess we'll charge, I guess. Hit the critter all at once. Bro, what is going on? Am I like Will Ferrell said, am I taking crazy pills? Like, what are we doing? Jeez.
What?
And also Claremont with like anytime he wants to make a character Southern, it's just the AH, like that's good enough.
Yes. That's all you need.
Yeah, but man, come on. Like that was just like such a forehead smacking moment. Like we just had that great moment with Eliana, and here goes Sam. Like, oh my Lord.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah. Eric says Sam's just simple, big heart, good old boy. Got to give him some slack. Yeah. No, you're not wrong, Eric. It's just like there's only so many times you can like touch a hot iron before you realize that it's not, or in this case, this is just not working. The whole act first, ask questions later thing is just not working. We love Sam. John, what are your thoughts here on the splash page and some of the details?
Every single drawing of Ileana is phenomenal on these pages. Like every one. I know JP loves the one with her hair blowing at the top far corner there. The one of her intense face where she's like, Rain, I don't give a crap. Do it. Either she's gonna die because we lose and the bear kills her, or she's gonna die because you try this. Either way, like let's just do what we can to save ourselves something here. We got to figure something out. The darkness settling in and the little bits of light poking out, that hand of armor reaching towards us where she's like realizing now she's got this armor. I love all of it, but dang, that the bear growling and laughing with pleasure that they're losing. So cool. Those teeth. And he's just enjoying this, I think there's some beauty in that nightmare that's happening. So yeah, all of it grand.
Yep, for sure.
And Gore had another great question because he says that Frank Miller, when working with Bill Sienkiewicz on Elektra, would often rewrite the script when he would see the artwork coming back from Bill Sienkiewicz. He would change it to fit even better to what he was getting. And he wonders maybe Claremont did something of the same. When he would get these pages back, maybe he would make edits and can, adjust some of the writing on his end.
It's a great point. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I do have to take a second to highlight these two hilarious comments. Bobby first says, she looks like Patrick Mahomes in the fourth quarter. And Stu,
debatable, bro.
I got more Josh Allen vibes myself. Yeah, no, definitely debatable. I'm with you there. Sorry, I just had to highlight that. Conlon also says, dog girl and can't turn boy. Really got on my nerves. Yeah, Stevie, you are not wrong there. and I like the nicknaming. So let's keep this going here. So next up we have the bear, who at this point, according to its plans, while the team's busy, he's trying to swipe at breaking these wards through. And when he does, again, I kind of highlighted this earlier, but this is where it actually is defined, where every time the bear does swat at the wards trying to break this protection spell, Ileana feels it. She says it there. She's feeling every single slash, every single hit, and pain goes through her, because the wards are, and her spells are part of her, very much like the soul sword and everything else that we've kind of started to learn more about. So that's happening. Meanwhile, Magma making more lava come up through the ground, trying to kill this one demon. She can't quite get to it. The one demon goes flying, and Roberto kind of hits them. They're doing good teamwork. It's just not really going anywhere. And then finally, Rain snaps out of it. She says, "Hey, I have the answer. I know what Danny basically had told her what the secret is to doing." And then she gets clobbered over the head, completely knocked out.
Bad timing.
Terrible timing. And then we have Magic, who steps up and is like fed up at this point. She's like, "Hey, you want to go after my friend? You got to come through me." She brings out the soul sword again. She goes crazy and ends up stabbing the one demon. And as she does that, immediately the demon ends up being what looks to be released, and the individual becomes human again. Now, granted, he's Native American, not the police officer that we had first initially saw when it was transformed, but it's something. And so, it's still a little confusing with what's happening. And then you get the bear, who is, standing still tall at the end there, getting kind of flamed out by Magma as they kind of try to buy some time and figure out what they have to do next. Cause now, they're starting to figure it out. Ileana even says to Rain, "Don't worry, I got it from here." Now that she realizes what her sword does, after the few examples that has happened so far, wants to start to apply it. So, Stu, what are your thoughts, kind of coming towards the end here with this, but the discovery of what really the trick is? Turns out it is the soul sword this whole time. And then on top of that, also the ability to feel, with the wards and everything. Her magic is her, right? Her sorcery is her. What are your thoughts on some of that?
I mean, I think this is like, just more and more of her kind of taking on, excuse me, that burden of team leadership, and really putting everybody on her back, and kind of, and I like here how, they start to get behind her a little bit, or at least they start to drop their earlier, assumptions. Artwork continues to be great. That bear swipe is another, one of the best panels in the book to me. I love, again, Cannonball come streaking across the middle of that page, and that panel is just it's so well done, man. The Clud, on top of the head hit me especially hard. I thought that was really well executed, and you really felt the finality of that thump. But yeah, man, I thought again, the action is so well done, and just watching the back and forth was amazing. So I think, again, like the way the color choices, and what they choose to use for the backgrounds, I thought was so well done, and so in line with so complimentary towards Bill's art. So shout out to, what is it, Glennis Wine?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna, John, if you don't mind, I'm gonna go to these next two pages, and I'll
go ahead,
pass them back to you, because it does kind of all tie together here. We get these beautiful two set of pages that absolutely stunning. As yes, at this point, Ileana, she knows what she has to do. She asked Sam to fly her up at the bear directly. Sam's kind of asking, "Well, what is it? What are you planning to do?" She goes, "I'm going to kill him the old-fashioned way." She's, even now kind of making jokes, but still going at it. Makes Sam a little nervous, but sure enough, he drops her off, or kind of like lets her fly. And just all it takes is just one massive swipe with the sword itself, slicing the bear in half, as you get this incredible full page, and the bear with the blue, the line, the black and blues, and this is one white line kind of going through the middle of everything, and killing the bear. But not only killing the bear, but actually we see two individuals come walking out from this, and it turns out that it's the parents of Danny. It's Danny's mom and dad from what we thought were dead. So I won't get into the explanations yet per se, because that is coming on these next couple of pages, but just from an artwork standpoint, and then on top of that, just Ileana making the move, being the MVP here in this issue. John, what are your thoughts? Again, and I can go back a little bit if you want, but
no,
yeah,
I don't need it. I love the thing I was going to mention on the last page is here as well, which is the demon bear eyes. They're really cool, man.
Yep.
They're just psychedelic, and they go from red, obviously, to blue as he sort of is killed here.
Yep.
And really just crushing it. I just loved it all. Really, to the point that I think Dan is questioning, like, how much does it bleed into the gutters, the edges of the page? And that's the kind of beauty of a lot of these panels. You can see it at the bottom of both of these, is where the art ends and the gutter at the edge begins is real fluid, and there's no consistency. It's kind of fun to see it break out of those panels, and I think there's a lot of that happening in this, in all of the stuff that Bill does in these books. The fact that the edge of the bear's ear right here next to me becomes the gutter, the empty space, the white around his ear, it shapes its head and then becomes the gutter. Really cool stuff. I dig all of it. And yeah, didn't know mom and dad were stuck in the demon bear. Now you get mom and dad back.
Yeah, this was a huge twist. Even Candace says this was me when I saw her parents were trapped in there. Yeah, given the shock face, it really was pretty wild. I wanted to also highlight, JP says, at this point I feel like Magic would have been easier, just had an easier time if she was just on her own, but I guess thanks for the team, for the help team. Yeah, no, I definitely hear you. I mean, look, Rain being able to kind of communicate something, even though technically I guess she found that out too on her own by accident. But she did get some time bought for her thanks to the team. So
if we had just taken away all the males and just let the females handle the situation, we would have been in and out in 5 minutes. We damn sure wouldn't have been in the Badlands. Like none of this would have.
All at the hospital.
Yeah, exactly. Stu, what were your thoughts here when we turn these pages and you see the black and the blues and then the parents?
Absolutely incredible. Did y'all get fastball special vibes from the Cannonball Magic?
Oh, yeah,
okay. I got a little bit.
But then this time the Rasputin is the one getting carried.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But to me it's all about the color change, like when the demon bear gets split in half when it goes to icy blue is so fantastic. And yeah, it's sort of it's super confusing. Did y'all have any idea who that was at the bottom of the page when they first showed up? Because I had no idea. I couldn't.
I can't remember back to when I was a kid reading this, because I definitely read it then, but as an adult, I definitely remembered and knew what was going to happen. So that part, I can't dig back to that age,
So I didn't know if I was thinking it was parents, but I was questioning if it was like real. Like I thought it was okay, the bear gets slashed and now let's go into a dream sequence. Yes. Like I thought it was going to go into some backstory almost or something.
That's a better way to put it. I thought it was like almost symbolic in a sense.
Yes,
it was like they're kind of their memory, but But regardless, beautiful. And I like you said, I love how we've had that red and black the whole time, and then it just kind of goes blue and white here. Kind of the threat neutralized.
Yep, absolutely. Well, let's get to these last couple of pages here as we wind down for issue number 20.
Woo!
I
was just sorry, I saw Storm.
Oh, yeah.
I just got the sexy, spiky, like armband things on too, man.
I was ready for this page turn.
So the team, they're all head scratching. They're back in the OR. They're trying to figure out what happened. They're Bobby asking if everybody's okay. While the answer is yes, ultimately they feel okay. They're a little concerned for the two, Officer Corsi and Nurse Friedlander, who are now changed in appearance. And so there's a big point there. Rain is asking, like, what's going to happen? Because they're, they don't look the way they looked when we, first went into this whole mess. And then, yes, we have the other two that are standing here who are the again, we're recognizing them now as the parents. they are stepping out and they explain everything. They're essentially like, yes, unfortunately, I'm afraid their bodies were reshaped before they were possessed, because you drove their demonic natures, but that didn't affect the original enchantment. So they have been changed via magic. That can't necessarily be changed. He says it's kind of a vicious reminder that while you defeat the bear, you have a long way to go before challenging the evil that spawned it. So, and then you have the doctor come in and say, "Excuse me, like, what's all this going on? Who are you?" And the doctor basically says, bad news. Oh, they explain this. So we're her parents, and these are new mutants. They can, whatever you have to say, you can say to all of us. The doctor basically said, bad news. The good news is she's going to survive. The bad news is she's paralyzed and that she's going to be paralyzed. So they're all devastated hearing this news. But then we get some Professor X popping out of nowhere, which I definitely have some questions here because there wasn't anything clarified. Yeah. Ooh. There wasn't anything that clarified yet that they were back from Secret Wars. So when I throw it to you guys, maybe you can elaborate a little more. But yeah, so Professor X is back. At least mentally kind of speaking to them, saying, don't worry, kids. We're going to be able to work this out. She's going to be okay. And next thing you know, we have one of the Morlocks show up, the healer that we had met from issues 170, 171, that range of the X-Men titles from last season. And Storm, of course, as John pointed out with excitement, his girl, she's back. She brought the healer with her. And, if you've read some of those issues, you know what the healer can do. And yes, he's able to actually do what his title is, his name. He's able to heal Danny. So Danny's back. She wakes up. Storm has a nice little kind of one-on-one with Danny. I think some relationship building there between those two, saying that they didn't think they were going to see each other again. Clearly the team is back because Storm's back. So, as far as the questioning of, when some of this takes place, it's a little up in the air, but with the team disappearing from earlier and all that for the Secret War stuff. But yeah, as soon as Danny kind of starts to, realize what happened, what's going on, her parents answer her and she turns around and it turns out that yes, it's her parents. They explain that they have been enslaved, transformed into the demon bear that they fought, a foul corruption of our sacred symbol of courage and integrity. We were meant to do the same to you. Only my father, the grandfather, Black Eagle, his spells kept them at bay. So they were like they were fixed to have to go after. They couldn't even help but be this evil that this demon bear creation was. So it was very much they were programmed to go after their own daughter to kill and turn her basically into what they were. So yeah, the truth is they this whole time were the demon bear together. Their souls were trapped in this, and they're back now. They're actually here. They're alive. They're with us. Quite a miracle. And then on top of that, Professor X is here in the room, basically saying, yes, there's a lot of things that we have to figure out. Let's call our friend Doctor Strange. He can probably figure out, at least have some explanations and maybe some things that can correct, for the police officer and the nurse, amongst other things that are kind of going on. So that is kind of how things wind down. Of course, Professor X does share this nice little bit at the end, just saying how proud he is and what they've done so far and how they've stepped up and worked as a team. Clearly he didn't see what the boys did, but overall, very proud of them. So that's how the issue ends. John, I'm going to pass it to you first. What are your thoughts on the ending of this issue? And correct me if I'm wrong in some of these timelines and again with Professor X and Storm kind of showing up, because I did get a little confused there.
No, you got it. You got it right. Obviously, they come back from Secret Wars, and there's the whole dragon in love issue.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That was right around that too. Yeah. And
then they have to make their way from, I think they're in Japan, back to Tokyo, the US. So there's some time passage kind of in that period here. Yeah. We've said so many nice things about Bill Sienkiewicz. I gotta throw some shade. Not everybody needs bangs. Not everybody has to have hair cut like right across their forehead here, my guy. Look at Danny waking up with tears in her face. That's almost looks like a doll. It almost freaks me out. It looks a little bit like the Saw doll. Like it just kind of freaking me out there a little bit. Like and then what's with Mom in the upper far left corner? Like where's the lighting? Mom looks like a freaking mom. Somebody stabbed her with the soul sword. I don't know what's going on there. Like all I see are glasses and the bangs, like just freaking me out. Like mom needs to chill. Okay.
Yeah.
Stop. I know you haven't seen your daughter in a really long time, but all you're giving her are the evil eyes. You're not like giving her, I've loved you, I've missed you, and you're almost dead. I'm so happy you're alive. You're giving, I'm going to kill you in your sleep later. Like it's not a way to go.
Yeah.
And then Ilyana's got the damn bangs too. Like I get it. Like one of you have the haircut. Other people can do other things. Everybody's got the bangs cut. So it's kind of irking me a little here at the end. I'll give up that irksome frustration because he crushes 2 amazing drawings of Storm and will just let Bill Sienkiewicz doesn't draw Storm very often. So I'll give him that. He makes those pages and panels work. But yeah, great ending to this story. Unless your name is Corsi or Nurse Friedlander, like I don't know how you're gonna go back to any semblance of your life when you went to work looking like a slightly mustachioed Italian cop, and you go home looking like Dances with Wolves. I don't know how you pull that off.
I feel like Officer Corsi was like a menace on the reservation, and this is karma for his like, you know what I mean? Like this is what he gets in return.
I think there's a whole maxi series here somewhere where we just see the life that they have to now
Corsi
live.
and Friedland,
because they're stuck together. That there's it takes a couple issues before they realize. Who else can I hang out with but you? Like who else is going to understand? So they're stuck together, trying to start a life, and everybody is like, "Course, your name is Friedlander, Corsi, interesting."
Called Dances with Wolves. That was so good.
I don't even know. So I feel bad for them, but I also want to know a whole lot more.
Yeah.
Bobby, about your comment with the parents, he said you look that way too if you came out of a demon bear.
I mean, that's fair. There were some other great the chat is phenomenal every time, but they're really bringing an A game tonight. Gore way up at 7 minutes and 7:33. He said the value of shows like this and similar ones from those in the chat is appreciating the works of creators who still are with us and not waiting until they're past. You never know, they may be watching, or maybe one day. So I love that. The joy for these books comes across well, Gore. I appreciate you in a big way. And then there's some great questions. Fable asking, did Sienkiewicz design Warlock? It does seem like he drew all his early appearances.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he had a ton of creative input. And then Lasso asking, did Professor X know that they were in the Demon Bear when Danny was so brutally attacked? Do you think Charles would have sensed it? Freaked out? Other students? Nope. What a jerk. And then I thought there was another question, but it really just great. The chat's just been phenomenal. So I appreciate you guys a ton.
Look at this Xavier apologist right here.
Has Xavier been beaten recently? I know his mental capacity is I mean,
stop making excuses.
Stu, what are your thoughts on how this issue ends?
It's wild, right? My favorite, I think, the moment that most aptly captures how I feel about it is the Doc when he kicks open the door and he's like, "What the hell is going on out here? This is a Grand Central Station.
Yes,
people just popped in from another dimension. Like, what the hell? People are like on the floor. Like, why is that nurse and police officer on the floor? And is that Officer Corsi? What is going on here? Like,
everybody's in costumes now. What the heck?
Exactly. I like his disbelief, and then they're like, the dad's like, "Oh, please speak plainly. These are friends of Danny." Like, and he immediately shapes up. He's like, "Oh, well, yeah, it doesn't look good." But that's my favorite moment from it. I agree with what John said, man. Storm looks so amazing here, and really she saves the day. Xavier, give me a break with the I sensed your plate. It's Storm and her Morlock connection that healed Danny, and nothing less. So it's kind of wild. I agree with JP. It's magic and Storm kind of get left out here, and it's we kind of forget who saved the day. But regardless, I think it's all brought together very nicely. John, what you said about the bangs was something I definitely noted subliminally. That's so funny. You call her the doll from Saw. That was
It's
priceless,
freaky,
brother.
man. The
That
cheeks are
it
really
is,
big,
it
and
is,
yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
And it's such a powerful emotional
And
moment.
she looks
It does
super
kind of throw
pink.
you off.
Like the
Yeah,
coloring
yeah.
on her skin, very pink. Doesn't look real. It looks like she got sunburned.
Yeah, absolutely. But I still think they did a fairly decent job together. Pulling it all together. There was a lot going on, and this issue really was a Sienkiewicz showcase, and like ultimately I think that's the purpose, and it was also a great exercise for Claremont to I think he still established who he was as a writer throughout this, and didn't lose himself. And this was kind of like, for me, this was proof positive for both of them. Like, this can work. We can really make something special here. And like, I think these two issues really kind of settled that for them. So and it's just great to see Sienkiewicz on his artistic journey. Like, he's kind of really first getting started with his weirdo stuff here, and he goes on to do so many more incredible things. Like we were talking earlier, I think he shared space with Frank Miller at one time. Can you imagine?
Oh gosh.
And I think it was like a couple other guys in the mid to late 80s. I mean, yeah, incredible creative energy, and you can definitely feel the pain in his work, and the anguish and the chaos. And it's always, he's just one of my favorites through and through. One of those artists that's forever evergreen, and he's so out of my price range for original art, unfortunately, but he's special, man. He's a 101, and did so many things for expanding the genre. And I love how he describes himself as a Trojan horse. I kind of came in normal and switch it up, and I think that's exactly what we start to see the beginnings of here. So this was a treat to go over with y'all, and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. Yeah, a couple things in the chat. Dan says, okay, you guys have completed the Demon Bear trilogy, which is the basis of the movie. So it's a perfect time to watch and review it, please. Oh, maybe we'll have to do that. I didn't realize that was the premise of that one.
Yeah.
Let's see. JP was saying, is this still the New Mutant story? I mean, I feel like this is the only arc people really talk about still. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I hope we have some more good stuff to come. John, let's do our grades here before we wrap up, and then we'll get into questions. But yeah, how would you grade both of these issues, or however you want to do it?
I mean, it's hard to separate these two from the first part of the trilogy, and I'm happy to just paint them all with the same brush. Cultural appropriation for a Corsi aside, I feel like I feel this is another set of 10s. Like this trilogy is a banger. There's no flaws here. If there are flaws that we pointed out, they're really minor, and you're so overwhelmed by this artwork and the story washing over you that, like, no, it doesn't wax or wane. It's just steady the whole way through these 3 issues.
Yeah, well said. And yeah, people in the chat, please feel free to put your grades down below. Stu, what about you? How would you grade the 2 of these issues?
I'm right there with John, man. This was such a joy, and like I told him, I was rereading this with glee, just seeing these layouts and approach to panels and character development. It feels like a team of young teenagers trying to put together a fight against a crazy, terrifying, mystical force, and it's done so well, and such a huge moment for comic book history. So yeah, definitely echo John. 10 out of 10 for me.
Man, we're going 10s across the board.
10s
all 3
across
of us
the board.
boys.
Let's go.
Well, I've never done that before, but yeah, man, I'm with you guys. I think that, and it obviously helps that this is considered the trilogy, and the 3 of them kind of tied in. So I think it all goes hand in hand perfectly. So yeah, man, doesn't get any better than this. I absolutely love these issues, and will continue to seek these out anytime. Because I'll tell you, and I forget who pointed it out earlier, but these are very affordable issues. All of them. We'll get into the money here in just a second, but even just to find these raw. I know my LCS always have them, for a couple bucks in the dollar bin or wherever. It's always a good deal. So a couple things I'll highlight here. Let's see. Matt says, given the entire night at 9.9 tonight, the commentary, the books, the chat, I didn't see any flaws. We're with you there, Matt. Let's see. Bobby says he's given a 98 and a 98 with white demon claw pages. Love it.
Hell yeah.
Well said. Fables with us too. He's going with the 10s. Surefire classic. Absolutely. Dan says feels like you're reading a dream. Yeah, it really does.
So true.
Things.
Absolutely.
JP is also with us. Arc would be a 10.0, but they forced the Summers into the story, so 9.9. You know, he had to bring something down. Don't forget JP Storm is in it. You know, come on, it evens it out. Let's see. All right. So don't go away because we have questions coming up. Before we do, let's just show the money real quick. I know we're coming up on the 2-hour mark, but I definitely missed on some of the key elements. I had initially just put Starjammer's appearance and Dan, Danny's parents. I feel like no one talks about that,
right?
In these books, and kind of glad I didn't hear anybody talk about that because that definitely would ruin certain aspects of it if you were brand new to these books. So kind of glad that information.
And the first appearance of Ileana's armor, that's got to be something, right?
So yeah, I mean, it wasn't mentioned for
fans of the character,
but yeah, it probably is because we didn't see it anywhere else based on. Although, did we see armor? Oh no, we didn't see armor in the 4-issue miniseries, John.
No,
right?
I don't think so.
No, okay. So then, yeah, I would say, yeah.
That's just where you get the soul sword for the first time.
Yeah. Oh, right.
She has a lot of interesting firsts, leading because her character evolution is so dramatic. Because most people are like, well, her first appearance is Giant Size X-Men, so obviously, we get her as a kid, and then we get that transformation, then we get the soul sword, then we get the first issue where she's called Magic, and then it's like her journey is fascinating because she's one of those characters that is allowed in comics to age, which doesn't happen a ton, and you get a journey.
Yes.
Although to be fair, they force it with a 7-year jump.
They did do that, but I mean, you look at where she is now, the adult we get in comics now. How many characters age like that in comics? Like, it really doesn't happen. I mean, Peter Parker, sometimes they still go back and like, no, he's still in college. He's still in college. He's working it out.
Yeah.
So let me ask y'all this real quick before, we're at the end of the first Sienkiewicz run. Who is your favorite New Mutant of this team right now, right here and now, in the reading order?
It's hard for me because I've read a ton of New Mutants, and I still have a lot of Sam Guthrie love. He has always been one of my favorite characters. I just think he's a lot of fun. I like the way he stands up to Cable or Xavier later in comics. If I was just reading these 20 issues, it'd be hard not to pick people like Danny. Like, it'd be hard not to pick. Ileana's had a very short stint, but Danny's been top to bottom a star.
Yeah,
that's what gets tricky here because to your point, John, Magic up till this point isn't fully involved the way Danny and the rest of the team is as a New Mutant until now. So I almost feel unfair to say I feel like it's unfair for me to say Magic, even though I love Magic and I'm loving everything we're learning just within these 3 to 4 issues. But if I just had to compare it for the 20 issues that we've done across the board, and knowing the leadership and everything that we get with Danny, Danny for me definally is my favorite.
That's awesome.
They're both. I mean, they're all made.
I'm ready because she's going to start to be called. You got to start calling her Mirage here.
Mirage,
so just be ready for that.
I would say I am falling in love with all these characters. I really am falling in love with all these characters. And I think that's why this season works so well. I will admit I was a little concerned when we're getting away from the core X-Men team as Omni X-Men are now talking about New Mutants. But man, it is far opposite. I am loving all
I'm so glad because obviously I was kind of like, am I forcing Justin to do this? Is this the end of the
Omni? It was ready to go. Omni was ready.
No, Claremont writes the young people and their circumstances so well. It's a gift for him.
Totally. The other aspect.
Sorry, Stu? What's your answer?
I'm just gonna go off of this art. Just I haven't read the whole run like you guys. I read a few issues on the lead up to this one, but I haven't, and 18 obviously, but Danny's there, but man, I gotta go Magic. This was just it was just great how she kind of took the reins in the second half of the story and ran with it. And I think that's such a testament to both Claremont and Sienkiewicz to give both Danny and Magic kind of equal footing in this story in a sense, and really put them on a pedestal. So yeah, love to see two females sharing the spotlight and killing it. Like, how you can't go wrong.
Absolutely. A lot of people in the chat putting up their thoughts. I love it. Love to see it.
Magma's been Magma's so beautiful, and Sienkiewicz draws it so beautiful. So
a lot of great choices there. So appreciate you guys. The numbers here real quick. 19 fair market value. Again, these are Go Collect numbers, and 9.8. There's only 96 on the census for CGC, and 9.8 goes for $80 for fair market value. And then issue number 20, a 9.8 goes for $50, which is almost practically getting it slabbed to begin with. So there's 79, and I mean, 50 is it is dirt cheap for that. I mean, I actually that actually might be worth buying to crack open in that regard, to have such a perfect thing, but to still be able to read it, because these are at the end of the day books you want to read and have to be able to have open. But the covers are gorgeous too. So I mean, definitely understandable to have these set up. It would be cool to see these all like in a row. Maybe
that would be
like the three of them together. So
and like a demon bear grid.
Yeah. There you go, JP. Buy to read these. 100%. All right. So that's that. Don't go away. We do have the questions here before we wrap up. Let me stop sharing that. So John, you want to kick it off with your first question?
Yeah, these are questions having to do with the episode on my channel last week. So issues 17, 18. No, 17, 18. 17, 18. So if you read those issues, if you remember those issues, or if you were watching the show last time, these will be easier, but we want the first two correct answers, and we want somebody to entertain Stu here. So he will throw out a point to somebody who gives a good answer that's wrong. And that's always a good laugh in the chat. So my first question is, last few storylines had to do with the
Thanks, Ryan.
Academy that they're training as like an alternative New Mutants, and what is it we notice that they all have in common when we first sort of meet them, and at the beginning of those two issues we see them all walking down a hallway. What is it we notice that they all have in common? The Hellfire, or the Hellions is what they're called, the Hellions, which by the way is a sure sign that your school may not be on the up and up when they name the kids the Hellions. That's the team name. So there you go. Interesting. I think they're pink, gang. Sorry. So purple answers are out. Adam and JP. I said pink. So I'm going Candace.
Candace.
Sure. Tutus. Are they tutus?
Oh, he says tutus. Yeah.
I'm gonna go Lasso and Candace.
I just saw the word pink. I thought. Sorry, Vinny. So sorry. You said Lasso and Candace. Yeah. No. Remember, we are looking for incorrect answers as well.
So yes, I'm going with those two.
There you go.
So Lasso and Candace correct, but let's hear some comedy answers. Matt and Clemson says they all have bangs.
Yeah, I like Matt's answer.
Nice playoff.
Bringing us back home.
Yeah.
They're all mind controlled by Emma Frost. Oh, sorry. Whoa, there it was.
There we go.
Yep.
They all. Here we go. They all wear Dr. Doom masks. There you go. Playing to the judge.
You know what?
There it is.
Playing to the judge.
Lasso gets a point for pandering. Yeah, that always works with Doom. So
it does. There it is. All right. Yep. Your turn, Justin.
My first question is issue. Again, this is for issue 17 and 18. What did Kitty Pryde give to Roberto to help him with his pain? Roberto was dealing with some pain. He had some bad luck. They were going against Roulette and the gang, and he had some pain that he had to deal with. Kitty Pryde.
I was about to say this was about to get wild. Like,
what did Kitty Pryde?
Hello.
I mean, we could say
Costco. Keeps tonight. I like it.
Zigged when it should have zagged there, but I like it.
All right.
I see correct answers though.
Yes. So, Vinny, That is correct.
Vinny.
And Adam.
I think that's Vinny's first ever raffle entry on our show.
Oh, nice.
So congrats, Vinny. You are locked and loaded on the wheel now.
And shout out Vinny. He's always sharing our stuff and giving us shout outs. We appreciate you, man.
Big
hanging out, watching us,
yeah.
tuning in. That is correct. And Adam looks the phone. Yep.
Okay.
Thank you, Adam. Good call. Good call. We are looking for some funny answers.
There's a bunch, and
Ryan,
we saw Lassos.
Yeah,
Lassos. I think Lassos the front runner right now.
Dance is banging in the 80s. I do like that Bobby describes it as one of her famous back rubs. Yes, that we would have accepted.
Well known.
Yep. Colin, all in lingerie like Teach. Yeah. You hang out with them for us long enough.
Seriously.
And there you go. Vinny's got JP sandwich. That's a good one. Yeah, bringing back the sandwich. Is it that kind of party? Gore, I don't know, man. You gotta go back and see what was going on there. Bobby says an autograph, Pat Mahomes jersey.
Bobby gets -1 point.
Yeah, negative.
Yeah. Can we go ahead and log that? Yeah, log that.
I'm just taking 1 mark off.
All right, thank you. No gold star for you today, sir.
Appreciate you, Vinny. Let's see. Keep going down here. She gave them a Diana Ross performance, if you know what I mean. Colin says this is a loaded question. Yeah. I mean,
all right. So who was the?
We got to give it to Lasso.
Lasso.
All right.
You got everybody.
Lasso's on fire.
Everybody.
Yep.
It was a layup. It was a layup. Go ahead, John. What's your second question there?
My last question has to do with the next issue 18. Ileana answers the door, hoping that it's the X-Men returning, but it's actually Rachel Summers. What does Rachel do when she sees Ileana? A little Rachel Summers cameo in these issues. She didn't show up for the Demon Bear. I don't know where she went during the Demon Bear, but what are you gonna do?
Oh, we got Matt chiming in with the line as well. All right, represent for Roy Kirk, even Ryan.
Theme of the night.
Of
the night.
What do we start here?
I'll give Vinny, because she cries.
Yeah,
that's fair. But it's Lasso also. Yeah, she freaks out and she runs away.
Yep.
So there you go.
Vinny got 2 tonight. There you go.
Vinny's doubled up. He's already got 2
on the board again. Candace says she wonders why she's so old. That's right.
She does have that question.
She says party on and be excellent to each other. Station. Yeah, I like it. Does her singing telegram impression, Adam says. What does Rachel do?
Bumping into my desk a lot tonight.
Answers the door at the mansion. This just reminded me of Clue right there, Adam. Thanks. I've been watching the show Traders. It's very similar. It's great stuff. Ryan says starts making dinners. Yeah, Rachel.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, Rachel dinners. Any
others
tonight?
Any winners?
Yeah. Any choice there, Stu?
I'll go Candace. All right. So
there it is. Candace on the board.
Yes, indeed.
All right, we got one last question. My last question of the evening is: what did Sam bring with him when the team went searching for Danny in the woods? This is at the end of issue 18. So Danny, she goes after the bear. They hear screams. Sam decides to bring something with him. The rest of the team, what does he bring? I will accept. There are a few answers I will accept. Let me see this here. So, how did I?
Your answer has to start with AH to qualify.
I'm glad nobody said BJ yet. So, I think I see 2 correct answers, but I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
It depends on. There's 2 that say one and 2 that say the other, so you got to pick and choose what you like.
Yeah, I'm not going to get picky about the type of gun, so I'm going to go with Adam first, who says rifle, and then Magic Lasso, who says shotgun. I think I did initially guess shotgun as my right thing written down, but that's fine. I'll take rifle too for Adam. So I would have. Just so you guys know, I texted John. I said the answer is either shotgun or anything that has to do with Moira. Any phrase of Moira and her gun, I would have taken as well.
The armory. Visit to the armory.
Because it was very much a move she would have done. So some funny answers. JP has sandwich. Fable says a Playboy. Grabs a quick Playboy as he runs out the door. Lasso says a blow-up doll. As he runs at the car. Candace knows I'm on a Pokemon kick. A binder of all his Pokemon cards. That's probably what I would have grabbed as I ran out the door. There, Matt saying, shotgun. There you go, Stu. His autograph Patrick Mahomes jersey. Bobby with that one-liner. He's sticking with it.
Got to erase another one here.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, that's another negative.
You're doing nothing but hurting yourself.
Going the wrong way, Bobby. Going the wrong way.
Yikes.
The Acme Roadrunner seed. Any of these, Stu?
Matt and Clemson gets the point because he followed instructions.
There you go.
Hey.
He's paying attention. All right. There it is. A lot of great answers, gang. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Shout out to all of you. Y'all make this show what it is. So
great
we appreciate
chat.
you.
Incredible chat.
A quick reminder, make sure you are subbed up to these gentlemen here. Stu, of course, because he's such a great guest of ours. And Stu, we want to thank you for joining us and being part of this every season. You know, you've been here now for the last couple, and we really appreciate you. Make sure we'll always have.
Yeah, do I get like a blazer or something when I hit number 5?
a certain number,
Yeah, like SNL.
Definitely not a Patrick Mahomes jersey.
Yeah,
no,
as long
please,
as
no. Yeah, that'll sour things for sure.
Yeah. To answer Magic Lasso's question, we have Eric joining us from SideQuest Comics just for issue 21. Because there's an annual coming up immediately after. So the next two are just one solo kind of issues. So I'm doing 21. He's doing the annual, which is probably double sized.
It's as I say, it's really because John wants to see me do 2 books.
I want to see how many hours we can put.
Epic cover with the sword. Oh man,
mine is it's called Slumber Party. It's this cover.
Yeah, it's that. Yeah, or this is the actual.
Yeah, but it's this. Yeah, it's the same artwork.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's basically a warlock story.
That image though definitely is like iconic to New Mutants.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's gonna be fun. Appreciate y'all hanging out again. Stu, man, we appreciate you as always. Your links are in the description if anybody wants to make sure you sub up Stu. You're missing out. Great content. Hit him up over on Instagram if you want to just talk comics with the man. And then, of course, make sure you're subbed up to John, as always, as we're going to be over on his channel next week, as he just mentioned. So we'll still be 9:00 Eastern. But yeah, otherwise, SideQuest says he's ready. He says, I think I'm ready. He says, I think I'm ready. We appreciate all the love. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us each and every Tuesday. So we'll wrap this up. Everybody have a great week. And until next time, we will talk to you later. Peace.